Welcome into another edition of the Brett Allen Show. Thanks for watching and listening. Today we are chatting with Shalini Bathina about Long, Slow Exhale, a Spectrum original. If you haven't had the opportunity to watch this, I strongly recommend that you catch up because this show moves quick and fast. Thank you so much for your time, and it's a pleasure to meet you today. Thanks
Thank
for
you for
being with
having
us.
me. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Well, this is a thriller. It is, my goodness, it's just like intense from tip to tail. And it's interesting because I think it was about a year ago, I was interviewing somebody else for a completely different show. And this individual was talking about this and the fact that they would be starring in it and becoming a part of it. So let's talk about this because from what I understand, this project's been in the works for a while and it's now out for people to enjoy. How has your experience been with it, and what can people expect when they get a chance to watch?
My experience has been great. I got to move to Atlanta for like 5 months and explore a new city and meet some amazing people on set, and work on a genre I always really loved, and was just genuinely very excited to be a part of something like I didn't think that I would be in a show like this or would even book it. You don't think that when you're auditioning. And then when it happened, it was a very, very pleasant surprise. I think people can expect a lot of things from the show. I think one, it's a murder mystery. I think that's just always super fun. You can't go wrong with that. But it's really set in reality, and there's so much more going on beyond just like the drama of crime. There's basketball, there's like career things, like talking about like the politics of a university, and really we dive into some heavy topics as well, and how people would react in a real situation. There's no clear black or white situation. It's very gray, and we kind of
Yeah.
explore all of those nuances of a when something difficult arises, and how people are imperfect and flawed. And I think we don't show anyone as like a perfect hero or a perfect villain in any way. So I think it's also, people like seeing that. I think it's like nuance, and you don't see like a caricature of anyone. So I think people are going to have a good time just following along the story and feeling really connected to the characters. So yeah, I'm excited. It's like the third week right now. So we're into episode 7, 8, 9, I think. So today is just released today. So we're very excited.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I love what you said in the fact of like, although it might be based on
Mhm.
certain political things that have happened with the sport itself specifically, in colleges and how things are run and done, kind of like portraying things in a certain way, but it's not stylized to the point where it is, like you said, a caricature of
Yes.
somebody specific. Because really, when you watch this, you kind of find yourself, in a divided camp. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, although this is tragic in nature, but then it's like, well, this isn't too far from truth or experience, because really basketball is sort of like the backdrop of everything else that's going on.
Right.
So if you're looking for like a sport film, this
Yeah.
really isn't it necessarily, although it does exist. This isn't, so all joking aside, but it's really great. And you've been a part of a lot of major projects in your career. So this is big,
Yeah.
so it's, for me as an outside perspective, it's like no surprise that you got this because you had
Oh,
the
thank
Apple
you.
TV project and then
Yeah.
this. So, I mean, it's just a lot of fun. Were you able to get a lot of this done was it during the pandemic, or was this pre and then everything got held up? Because I mean, it's just so good. Everybody just does such a fantastic job.
We were doing this in the midst of pandemic. Yeah, I think they were casting in January of 2021, or January, February, around that time. And then like I think I booked it in March, and then within 2 weeks I was flying out to Atlanta.
Okay.
And it was still, I think that summer was like the peak of pandemic. So we're testing every other day, and a lot of COVID protocols on set. We were in the height of it all. So I'm very grateful to have like, when things were shut down at that time, I'm very grateful to have, booked work and especially such a big project with some phenomenal actors. So yeah, we were doing this like in the midst of pandemic for sure.
Yeah, when you walk onto a set like that and you're working with some pretty iconic
Mhm.
names, as an actor, sort of how do you feel like the new kid at school, or I mean, I'm just curious because I would imagine it would be sort of intimidating on some level, especially with some of the people that are in this,
Yeah. Yeah.
not being starstruck, or maybe, I don't know, it just kind of depends because it's like, wow, this is a big project.
Yeah. I'm useless and I always get starstruck. So it's just
I'm the same way. Yeah, I get it.
I mean, like, and yeah, I've been doing, like, I've been acting for a long time, but being on set with some bigger, names and people who've worked on some high profile projects. And honestly, some of them I've grown up with. I, watched when I was like 10 and, like seen them on my TV and, know their names very well in my head. My whole family knows some of them. So
Yeah.
it was really fun to be around that and actually feel like, you can keep up in some way, but at the same time, definitely very intimidated. And I was like watching and absorbing a lot of how they operated on set and how they operated scenes and their work ethic. And it was very refreshing to see that, people are still extremely professional, even at the height of their careers. And they come in, they show up, they put in their 100%. And they treat it like a serious job. So it was really cool to watch that and get to know them a little bit more and take a couple pictures, do the whole
Yeah.
thing. Like I'm gonna be honest. I was like, I'm a big fan. So appreciate you being here.
Yeah, I understand, I totally get it. Even like on the Apple TV project Little Voice, working with JJ Abrams, I mean, that's just like it doesn't get any more massive than that. Or I don't know how much Sarah Bareilles was on set for that, but
He was there.
uh
Yeah,
what's that?
he was there. He was there pretty much every day. So massive fan.
Yeah,
I lost my brain. I just didn't cool cool at all.
that's funny. But I mean, I get it. It's just one of those things. But this is just really um a great time to celebrate for you. Lots of things
Yeah,
going on, and a lot to be thankful for, and a lot of things to be proud of.
yeah,
I know that you also you're a professional dancer, Bollywood, you do those things. You just keep your hands busy a
yeah.
lot. As a creative and an actor and really a storyteller, like, when did you know this was something that you wanted to do? Like, where was that moment in your life where you kind of thought to myself, okay, I want to do this,
Yeah,
and I'm gonna go for it.
absolutely. I've been dancing since I was 5, and then I started like theater in like 8th grade. And it just kind of was one of those. I grew up in a very traditional Indian family. I grew up in India for a bit too. So, generally everyone around me was doing the traditional paths. And I actually was like probably going in that direction until I got into USC for theater. And it was kind of like a sign, I would say, in some ways. I was like,
Sure.
maybe I should just check this out. And I kind of told my parents, like, let me just try it. I just want to see what happens if I do something in school that I actually like versus being forced to do, school that you don't, will never use in your life, like doing calculus. I was like, why am I taking calc? I hate
Yes.
calculus and why am I doing this? And I think I just remember like senior year going, what? Like this is this there are like the academic part of it that I loved, but then I was like, there's part of it I was like, why am I doing this? So getting into school for theater, I think really tipped off something. And then it was my sophomore year where I was doing a play in the school. And then my parents came and saw me, and I just felt really fulfilled after that show. And I was really young and kind of I was the lead of the show, so it was like felt really like a kind of a heavy responsibility. But at the same time, when I saw my parents just kind of like light up and go, okay, maybe we should give her a chance at this. And I felt like, okay, this is something I think I could pursue. And then I saw a snowball effect of, just it's like time and time after there were
Sure.
a few successes. And then that gave me more of a reason to be like, I think you should continue this. And it made me happy. And it genuinely was, it saved me in a lot of ways in high school too. It's like, it's a big part of my mental health too, is keeping performance and creativity is a day to day in my life. Now it's everything, obviously. So it's nice to have that and feel like, wow, I get to do what I love to do and make a career out of it and make money and support my family. And so it kind of came full circle. And now it's like, this is what I've been doing for so long. I haven't really,
Yeah, yeah. Now your parents are probably like, okay, we get it now. They see the
absolutely.
success of you being on television. Well,
Yeah.
I tell you, this is a fun project. Long, Slow Exhale, a Spectrum original. And again, episodes are available to stream the next day. We've got a new episode coming out. Be sure to check it out. And of course, the Apple TV project as well. A lot of great things. Excited for what the future holds. Shalini, thank you for hanging out today. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.